right, Burt. Hey, it's a beautiful day.
Absolutely.
Here in Malibu. What drew you out here today?
So the reason I'm running is because I got tired of the same performative nonsense from every politician running. My district is one of the poorest districts in the country, and we have some of the most ecologically devastating issues, nightmarish issues in my district. We have the two most polluted rivers in the entire Western Hemisphere. We have the Salton Sea. And for years, politicians have been sitting on this for the sake of getting money while people are getting cancers, people are dying, and I couldn't stand idly by. So my background is engineering. I started off doing nuclear power in the Navy. I operated and built power plants, and I got into critical power, and now I'm project manager for commissioning hyperscale data centers. I decided to run when I saw the plane take off from Kabul airport and bodies were falling off. To me, that was symbolic. So I was deciding to run on a campaign of solutions. So ultimately, my idea is, as opposed to sitting there performatively, as opposed to spending money on things that don't get built, how about we build infrastructure like pipelines, and we build a desalination plant, we build a geothermal power plant. So not only are we investing in green technology, but we're investing in technology that exists, which will solve a water crisis, but also give us access to the 25 to 40% of the world's supply of lithium that's underneath there. For the New River and the Alamo River, which is causing cancers, which is causing such incredible sickness, we can build things like waste treatment facilities, and performative rhetoric and feasibility studies is not going to get us there. We have a district that is so poor, dude. We have 24.7% unemployment. Think about that. That's greater than the Great Depression. So another thing is, what if we figured out a way, as opposed to just trying to raise minimum wage, how about we raise minimum skill? Let's get trade schools at the end of high school so people can get skills, because when you have skills, you can help your community. What if we created a new type of grant for STEM degrees? Because guess what? It's really hard to do work while you're trying to do your calculus homework, you know? And if India can launch a satellite to Mars for $70 million, but it costs us $1 billion, there's something wrong with that. When the average high school student can't tell you that what the answer to the integral of x squared with respect to x is, but their counterpart in Vietnam can, they're not preparing us for an emergent technological age. So, that's why I'm running. Did that answer your question?
No, absolutely, and it's one of those things where, in the elections, that is a very important platform. Green technology, education, everything.
Absolutely. Ultimately, it's about infrastructure. It's not about performative rhetoric. And right now, we've devolved into a state where it's red versus blue, like we're Bloods versus Crips right now. And that's not my view of... I'm an immigrant. I came here... I grew up in the jungles of India. My grandfather was the chief conservator of the forests of Bihar. And so I grew up riding elephants through game reserves to another. We had a tiger cub. I don't consider myself to be an environmentalist. I consider myself to be a steward of this planet. I mean, look around you. We are on the dusty end of the Milky Way, floating around in the sagittal wing of a galaxy among billions and billions and trillions of galaxies that form the Lanai. All we have is each other, and all we have is this planet. And so certain things, let's start with the issues we can fix. Let's start with good legislation, because 100 years from now, the first child will probably be born in space. We will probably have colonies on the moon or Mars. We will be an extraterrestrial species for the first time in our history. Why not pass legislation that helps get us there, and also start creating the bonds now, because what will keep us together when we're astronomical units of distance apart, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you. That's all I got, man. I want to see if I can help people.
And I think you will have that chance. And we'll know in a few weeks.
We'll definitely know in a few weeks. Thank you so much. And I'm just so grateful that you took the time to even ask me a few questions.
Hey, you know what? It's all good. There's a lot of good causes out there, and we all need to contribute one way or another.
Absolutely. And, if I can just say one thing, is I won Jeopardy 2 years ago. I was on the last episode with Alex Trebek, and they shared a clip about me that went, pretty viral. And I had an opportunity to connect with millions of people because of my story. And the one thing I learned, because I was an essential worker during COVID, I drove everywhere across this country. And to me, I discovered what the tapestry of America was. I saw white people and black people and Asians and Hispanics all over the country. I'll never forget. I went to a dim sum place in the middle of Cheyenne, Wyoming, where they were making authentic Taiwanese bao. It was just so random. But what I learned is everybody in America, for the most part, what defined us, what defined me as an immigrant, was the kindness that we had towards each other, was the friendships, our communities that lifted us up. Even you, to get to where you are, it relied on the kindness of people. But the one thing we always forget is to be kind to ourselves. If we learn how to be kind to ourselves, we can see the goodness in other people. And it's our goodness that makes us great. Nothing else.
Most excellent. Well said, Burt. Hey, you know what? Burt Thakur for Congress here.
Oh, thank you so much. What's your name?
Gig.
Gig?
Gig, yes.
Nice to meet you. What's your name, miss?
California.
Pardon me? Nancy, thank you so much. Take care of you too.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.